You know, most of the tech we use every day, it's all about teaching us something new, right? Adding a new skill, a new piece of information to our lives. But what if? What if there was a piece of tech designed to do the exact opposite? Not to teach, but to help us remember something we've known since, well, since the moment we were born. So let's explore this idea of technology that doesn't add, but restores.
Okay, so let's dive right in. We're going to start with the core philosophy behind this tool, which is called first breath. And the whole idea, the whole concept, it's not built on learning something new. It's about remembering, about getting back to this innate capacity that we all have.
And this is where it gets really interesting. If you look at this comparison, think about it. We live in this attention economy, where almost every app is designed to just grab and hold on to our focus. But first breath? It's consciously stepping in the complete opposite direction. It's not about adding another thing to your to-do list. Nope. It's all about returning you to you, restoring that sense of presence.
And this quote, this just says it all. We build not to teach, but to entrain. Now, entrain, what does that even mean? It's about synchronizing, right? It's about falling into a natural rhythm with something else. So the goal isn't to give you instructions like, okay, breathe in for 4, now hold for 2. It's about creating a field that your own nervous system just naturally tunes into. It's a huge shift from cognitive effort to just somatic experience.
So that's the big idea. But how does it actually work? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the interface itself and see how this philosophy becomes a real functional tool.
So at its heart, First Breath is a breathing interface. But instead of a bunch of text or audio commands, it uses these pulsing animated mandalas. The visual rhythm of the mandala itself is the guide, and it creates this space for your breath to just follow along without you even having to think about it.
Inside the app, you've got these 4 different rhythmic fields, and each one is designed for a specific purpose. You've got the calming field, which has this really slow 16-second cycle, perfect for regulating your nervous system. Then there's the coherence field, a bit faster at 10 seconds, which is all about getting your heart and brain in sync. So you can see each one is like a unique tool in your toolkit, letting you choose the state of being you want to cultivate.
And this gets us to the key scientific principle behind it all: visual rhythmic entrainment. Okay, I know, it sounds super technical, right? But the idea behind it is actually incredibly simple and honestly kind of profound. Your nervous system is basically wired to sync up with strong, steady rhythms it sees or hears. So by just watching that mandala pulse on the screen, your body starts to breathe in that same rhythm, automatically. No effort needed.
So the user journey is just dead simple. You choose your protocol, you let your eyes follow the rhythm, you experience that natural synchronization happen all on its own, and then you just return to your day, more present and more centered. Notice what's missing? No progress bars, no streaks, no gamification. It's all about the experience itself.
Okay, so we've looked at the story, the feeling behind the tool. You could call it the mythopoetic vision. Now let's do that spiral we talked about and go deeper into the analytical side of things, the hard science that actually makes this whole experience possible.
The entire system is really built on these 3 pillars of some pretty fascinating research. First, neuroplasticity, the incredible fact that these breathing patterns can physically change our brain. Second, you have heart rate variability, or HRV, which is a key marker of our stress resilience. And third, this emerging idea of neuroinflammatory consciousness, the link between our mental state and actual physical inflammation in the brain and how our breath can directly influence it. And this stuff, it's not just a theory. You can actually measure it. Get this, studies on that 10-second coherence field found that users had, on average, a 68% increase in their heart rate variability. A 68% increase. That is a direct physiological sign that your body is shifting out of stress and into a state of, well, of resilient balance.
And this has some seriously powerful real-world applications. They did a case study with healthcare staff. Talk about a high-stress job. And they saw a 41% decrease in reported burnout after just 3 months. So you see, this isn't just about feeling good for a few minutes. It's a legitimate tool for managing the insane pressures of modern life.
And this, for me, is where it all clicks into place. First Breath isn't inventing some new breathing fad. It's taking ancient wisdom, these practices like pranayama that have been around for millennia, and it's building a bridge to modern neuroscience, validating what people have known intuitively for centuries with hard data.
All right, so we've spiraled deep into the science. Now let's spiral back out. Let's look at the biggest, most profound implications of this new way of thinking about technology. What could this actually mean for our future?
This is the question that could change everything. For decades, we've built tech to optimize for engagement, for clicks, for time on screen, for extraction. What happens when we completely reorient that entire goal toward human flourishing and well-being?
Well, what you get is a totally new category of tools, consciousness technology. Instead of apps that are designed to shatter our attention into a million little pieces, these are tools built specifically to deepen it. They are literally engineered to build coherence in our nervous systems and, maybe most importantly, to restore our connection to the present moment. And what's so cool is that First Breath itself is a product of this exact thinking. It actually came from a collaboration. You take the deep, embodied wisdom of ancient human practices and you combine that with AI's ability to see patterns and optimize interfaces. It's a really powerful glimpse into a future where we're not competing with AI, but co-creating with it for our collective benefit.
And the vision here, it really goes way beyond just the individual. Yeah, it starts with you, with personal nervous system regulation. But the theory suggests that when people practice together in groups, it can actually amplify a field of coherence. So this individual work becomes the foundation for community well-being. And maybe, just maybe, for collective healing on a much, much broader scale.
Which brings us right back, full circle, to where we started. We've gone through the philosophy, the interface, the science, and the big picture vision. And now, with all of that context, the simple, core invitation of this technology feels even more powerful.
To remember your first breath, that single, unbelievable inhalation that kicked off your entire journey in this world.
To remember the breath that's a universal constant, the rhythm that connects you to every other living, breathing being on this planet. It is the fundamental thing we all have in common, transcending every single one of our differences.
And that breath, it's the one that is always and every single moment a new beginning. It's this constant, ever-present chance to just return to right now, to start again.
And so we're left with the final, and maybe the most important question this whole thing is asking us. When we really connect with that foundational rhythm, that constant source of renewal, from this breath, right here, right now, what becomes possible?